Hello everybody, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is Sam and I'm coming at you with a fun little TBR. Our fantasy is back for another year. I think this might be the 10th anniversary. I could be so wrong. I want to say that this started in 2015 though. I did not start participating in this until 2022, I believe, but I'm very excited. I got so close to finishing the 2024 with a full blackout. I missed 2 books. I meant to read The Principle of Moments, which was a space opera, and I needed to read Daughter of the Forest, which was written in the 90s by an author who had still recently published something within the last 5 years. The reason I didn't get to either of those were, one, space operas are not my jam, so that was a hard prompt already, but I had a couple on my shelves that I need to get to. It was more so just timing. There was no audiobook available for it, and so I just was kind of avoiding it, as you do. And so I've decided that I will try to read that again this time, sometime this year, just to feel a little bit better about myself. And then the reason I didn't get to Daughter of the Forest is because I know the triggering content in it, and I'm still very excited. It is a classic fantasy. Everybody absolutely loves the series, so it's one I'm definitely going to get to. I own the audiobook, so I will be reading it. I just am nervous. I want to make sure I'm in the right headspace. I think now that it's spring and summer and my life is a little bit less hectic, I do think now could be the time. So I will try to listen to it soon. It is a very long audiobook, so we'll see when it happens, but all things considered, I will get to those 2 at some point. I just have not technically completed 2024's Bingo Blackout. That leads us into 2025. We're going to go over the prompts and the books that I'm hoping to read. If there's any specific book that I really want to recommend, I might throw some out, but I don't at this current moment have any planned. The first one is Knights and Paladins. Now, I think that this could be hard or easy depending on how you look at it. I was recently recommended The Paladin's Grace by T. Kingfisher, so I will be reading this. It's all about paladins. I don't know if the series is following the same couple for all the books or if it's a different couple each book, but it's all about paladins and their oaths and their promises. I forgot I do try to complete the hard modes, so the hard mode for Knights and Paladins is if they have a promise or an oath to keep, and I have been told that this will work for it, so I am nervous. T. Kingfisher and I we're not tight, we're not best friends. I'm gonna give her a couple more chances this year and see how I do with some of her backlist stuff. I really want to read Sword Heart. That one really entices me. The few that I've read haven't gripped me. I've read some of her horror. I just think her and her humor don't align with me and my humor, and I'm not a big cozy fantasy girl, so she's got a lot of that cozy borderline dark. I don't know. I want to like it. I wish I did. It's just not always been for me, so we'll see how I feel about Paladin's Grace. This is one that I was interested in before reading any of her works, so I'm hoping that that interest will still keep me going. I know that this book is available on Hoopla, so I should be able to have easy access to it at any point this year. I forgot to mention that this year is April to March of 2026, so that's the time span for our fantasy bingo. I don't know why, but that's how it is. The next prompt is Hidden Gem, which is anything with less than, I think, 1,000 ratings on Goodreads, or Storygraph if you use that. New releases and arcs don't count just because obviously they are lesser read, and so the hard mode for this is something that was published over 5 years ago. I have 2 options for this. I have the easy mode option and then I have a hard mode option. My hard mode option is comfort foods, and I am unsure if this will count. I know this is poetry, and the whole thing about our fantasy is it needs to be speculative typically. I know nobody's policing the rules, so if I'm not, no one's gonna stop me, but I don't know if comfort food is speculative. I know that it's poetry and obviously it's around food, but I don't know if it's like a magical realism thing or not, so I have to look into that to solidify my answer. But if that doesn't work, I have a backup for easy mode, which is Nevergeist. I won this arc just on a whim through a readathon that I participated in a couple years back, and I still haven't read it. It's been on my shelf ever since, and it doesn't have a lot of ratings, so I would love to talk about it. It is fantasy and horror, and it sounds right up my alley. It sounded interesting when I first saw it, so I would really like to check it out and get to it, and if it means that I don't succeed on all the hard modes, then so be it. I just need to read this book. The next one is published in the 80s, hard mode, written by an author of color. Easy mode would be Matilda by Roald Dahl. It gets me every time. I don't know why I struggle with his name so hard, but Matilda's a book that's been on my shelf for a long time. It was written and published in the 80s, and I would like to read it. I love Matilda the movies and the musical, so it just makes sense. But I was really struggling with finding an author of color who was published in the 80s that wasn't Octavia Butler. Not that I have anything against her, I actually have her later on this list, and you're not supposed to repeat authors if you can help it. So with that said, I am gonna go with a book I had never heard of before. A book that is truly so new to me. It could go so well or so horribly wrong, and it's called Vampire Junction. And it seemed comical, it seemed fun. I don't know how this is gonna go. I don't know a whole lot about it, but it was published in the 80s by an author of color, and so that's like as good as I can get right now. If you have any recommendations for this prompt, please drop them down below. I really like reading fantasy and horror, and a lot of the things that I come across that were written before the 90s truly are just a bunch of white men writing fantasy that I'm not super interested, or white women, and hard for this prompt, and I don't necessarily want some of the classic fantasies out there, you know? Anyways, moving on to the next one, which is High Fashion, a book about clothing and the fine arts of fashion and fabrics and whatever. Hard mode is that the main character makes the clothes. I will shout out Crimson Moth, the first book, Heartless Hunter, because Gideon, who is the love interest and also like second main character, if you will, he makes a dress for our sweet girl, and it is truly one of my favorite things to happen in a romantasy, so I highly recommend that. But my option, the pick that I've gone with, is A Fragile Enchantment by Alison Saft. Now, I've not heard a lot of great things about this one, but I have pretty editions on my shelves that were given by, I think, Fairy Loot and Owl Crate. So I need to read it. I want to give it a try. I want to try and give it a fair shot and see if it's something that I can enjoy. Alison Saft is one of those authors that I have, I think, 2 or 3 books on my shelves now. Them and Ava Reed are like twin flames in the publishing world. I swear they come out with so many things, and they've got some of the most beautiful covers. So I definitely need to start dipping my toes into these authors, and this is the perfect opportunity to try. The next prompt I'm really excited about. It is Down with the System. It's a book that revolves around disrupting the system, and hard mode is that it's not the government, which hard mode is definitely harder because it's very easy to read a book dismantling the government. Who doesn't want to do such a thing? Crazy. Anyway, the book that I'm going with this is The Library of Mount Char, and this is, if I'm remembering correctly, and if I'm not, I'm so sorry, this is the one that I get confused with another book, The Library of the Unwritten. So those two things are fighting in my head at all times. They are the same book in my brain, and I know they're not. Is this the one where hell is the library and it's infinite, or is that Library of the Unwritten? I don't remember. Oh no. I'm a bad booktuber. This is the life of me. I am excited for this nonetheless. This and The Library of the Unwritten, I honestly should read at just the same time. Really compare and contrast those two just because my brain is broken with them, but I'm excited for this pick. How about that? The next prompt, I am so excited to finally have a reason to be reading this gosh dang book. I've wanted to for so long. This book, it's going to fill a book in an impossible place that takes up 50% of the book. Now, I think this one works. I haven't read the book, so I don't fully know, of course, but Dungeon Crawler Carl. I can't believe that I haven't read this yet. I know. The girl who has been obsessed with Dungeons and Dragons, it's been her hyperfixation for years now. The fact that I haven't picked this up yet is truly insulting to myself. Like, I'm not sure what I'm doing with my life, so I need to put it on this TBR. I need to read this. I need to so desperately. All I know is that we're following Carl and his, band of adventurers or mercenaries or some sort of something, and a cat, and they go dungeon crawling. And there's like a lot of books in the series. I'm very excited. I've heard great things about the audiobooks, so I'm just overall very excited to finally pick this one up. I don't know. I'm so stupid excited about this one. It just gets me pumped every time I think about it. It's just the concept sounds right up my alley. It sounds like a really fun time. It sounds like something that I need in my library. Okay, moving on. A book in parts. This is very simple. It's just a book that is split up into parts. I'm currently reading Red Rising. That has parts. Lots of options for this. It's just if there's parts. And for hard mode, there needs to be 4 or more parts. And for this, I have been told has more than 4 parts. And I will be reading Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler. I told you she would be on this list. I have not read a single Octavia Butler. I'm very interested in it. I've heard nothing but incredible things, especially about Parable of the Sower, which is sci-fi. I don't really know more than that. I think this is the one that's most comped to The Handmaid's Tale. So I haven't read any of these types of dystopian books, but I am intrigued. I'm a little scared, I'll be honest, but hopefully it will go well for me. The next one is maybe my favorite prompt on the whole board, gods and pantheons. And hard mode is that there are multiple gods involved or pantheons involved. And I just have to shout out Aaron A. Craig, the 13th child, has multiple gods in a pantheon, and it's beautiful, it's wonderful, but I've already read it, so I can't pick it, obviously. And instead, I will be reading the 3rd book in the God Killer series by Hannah Canner. I will be reading Faithbreaker. I bought the Illumicrate special edition. I have the whole series. It's so pretty. It's so beautiful. I love the blue. Oh, so good. I'm pumped to read this. I have the audiobook through the Libro FM ALC program. I am going to devour this book so fast. I just need the time to do it, and it'll be devoured in probably one sitting. I really enjoyed these books. They've all been solid 4 stars. Haven't quite hit that 5-star range yet, but they really do something for me. I love this world. I love the major and minor gods. I really love the characters. I really am intrigued where we're gonna go in the world next. Like, the end of the 2nd book, each book kind of leaves you on a cliffhanger, and you're just like, I need to know what's going to happen. Please, are they okay? Is everyone safe? The direction that it's headed has me gripped, and I cannot wait to pick this up. So, yes, Faithbreaker will be happening. Oh my gosh, last in a series, I've done myself a little dirty. Last in a series that is a book series that's more than 4 books long. This is a common prompt, nothing crazy. I have decided though that I'm going to go with Rapture by Lauren Kate. I've mentioned on this channel a couple of times now how I plan to do a Fallen series reread / finishing the series for the first time because I stopped mid 3rd book. It's so classic of me as a high school reader. I am so nervous about picking this one up. It's gonna be cringy, it's gonna be terrible. I'm gonna rewatch the movie, we're gonna have a great time, but oh boy, I'm gonna vlog the whole experience. It's gonna be full spoilers, but I keep talking about it, and so I felt like this is the perfect book to put on here to really force my hand and make sure that I follow through with this reading vlog for you guys and myself. The next prompt, I have not decided a book for it yet, and it's because this is the book club or read along prompt. Our fantasy has so many different book clubs that you can participate in, and so I am joined on Goodreads. I get updated and I can see what they're reading, so I'm kind of scouring each month to see what I'm interested in, and I will leave, of course, the R Fantasy stuff down below if you need any recommendations, or if you're just curious what other people are reading or talking about, or if you want more information on the prompts. All of that will be in the R Fantasy Reddit forum. But the whole point of the hard mode is that you participate in that month and maybe review it or talk about it or just, be a little bit more active. And I think it's a great way to, celebrate the Reddit forum and the book clubs that they have. So I have not decided yet, but I will let you guys know once I do. The next row, we've got a parent protagonist, and the hard mode is that the child is also a major character in the story. And a recommendation that I have for this one would be The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi. Such a good book. It's pirate adventures, it's seafaring. I don't know if I would say her kid is super present in the story, so it might not work for hard mode, but it's a great story. But my choice for this is going to be The Sword of Kaigan by M.L. Wang. Same author who wrote Blood Over Brighthaven. Haven't read either yet. Have deep desire to read both, and what better way than to put it on my art fantasy. I truly don't know what the Sword of Kaigan is about, because I didn't know that it was following parents and a kid and all of these things. I don't know what I thought it was going to be, but I know people love it, and it gets high praise all the time, so I'm very excited to see how it goes for me, what I think of it. I don't know what it's about, though. I don't know. I think I'm already starting to get it confused with Blood Over Brighthaven, because I'm like, oh yeah, it's set at an academy, but then I'm like, no, that could just be the Poppy Wars. I don't know. Hey, sweetie. The next prompt is epistolary. I got it. Hard mode is that the book is entirely told in that format. I've got a couple recommendations. Obviously, Emily Wilde's a great one. A Natural History of Dragons, I think, counts for this. And one book that I really enjoyed, LMNOP, is told in journal entries, letters to people off the island. All very interesting stories. I love the element. It's kind of mixed media, if you will. Like, I just enjoy that element of having some extra-ness to it. I don't know. There's something about it that either really works for me or really doesn't. Emily Wilde, for example, books that are told diary sense where it's like present. I don't know. Something about it's like a little doesn't fully work for me because I'm like, you wouldn't write that in your diary. You wouldn't have the perfect exact dialogue, and I have a hard time suspending my disbelief for it. But at the same time, I love reading the letters. I love having like a little mixed media element into my stories. So my pick could go either really good or really bad, and I'm going with a horror, finally. Buffalo Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones. People have cried from this, and I need to know what happens. I'm pretty intrigued as to know like why people are hurt by this one, what's going on. I've read Stephen Graham Jones in the past. Some books I've really enjoyed, others have been a bit more of a miss. I overall like to think that I enjoy his work though, but it is, out of the box, a little weird, a little wacky at times. But I've seen so many positive reviews for this one that I'm like, obviously, I have to. The next one is published in 2025. Hard mode, the author is it's publishing their first book. I love reading debuts, I love reading new releases, so this is like the perfect prompt for me, staying up to date with what's going on, what's hot in the community. Sorry, am I being cringe? I know. But for this, I've gone with Unlock the Dark by Sasa Hawk. I don't know what this is about, but the cover is beautiful. I'm sure that if I don't get to this, there will be plenty of other options to pick from that are debut 2025 releases that are in the speculative genre. So I'm not worried about this one, but this is the pick that I've gone with. It was a pretty cover. It caught my eye. It was on my anticipated releases of the year, and it's a debut. So I was like, perfect. We'll just slap that right in. The next one is Author of Color, and the hard mode is to read a horror. I'm a big fan of horror. My top two genres, fantasy and horror. It's a perfect combination. So I believe this one has ghosts, which is speculative in my eyes. And for this, I'm going to go with The Reformatory. This is one of the most well-beloved stories. It's obviously going to be hard-hitting and emotional, following a inspired by true story, so like a semi non-fictional fictional story of a reformatory, a school of, I don't know what the proper terms for these schools were, but basically they would send kids of color to these schools to like help them adapt into being white, basically based on her, I think, uncle's real lived experience. So I'm nervous about this one. I think it's gonna hurt me, and I know that's the part of the point. It's going to be historical, informative. I'm going to learn a lot, but it's also going to be like, ow. But I'm buddy reading this with my friends Aaliyah and Richie at some point this year, so I thought it was perfect to put on this list just because I was already planning to read it anyway. Alright, my battery is flashing at me, so I'm going to try and speed up this next final one in the row, which is a self-published book, hard mode, under 100 ratings on Goodreads, or written by a marginalized author. I think this fits for both of the hard modes. I'm going to be reading Sin World Chronicles by Ray Bowen. If I got that wrong, I'm so sorry. She so kindly sent me the arc of this book, and I know I haven't read it yet. I suck for that. I'm not great with arcs. I'm trying my darndest. I don't have to justify myself. I'm bad at reading sometimes. What can I say? There's too many books, too many options, but this is going on my R fantasy. I really want to read this. It was so sweet for them to reach out and give me a copy to read, and it's not been well talked about. Nobody I know I was aware of this. It's not on people's radar, so I would love to be that person to shout it out and give it a read and actually like see if it's good. I mean, look at the cute little chicken thing. I just need to know what's going on. It seems fun. I'm interested. That's all I know. Okay, I'm gonna change my battery now. Okay, we are back with a fresh battery. Moving on to the next row, the fourth row. Biopunk hard mode. No electricity based technology. This one I find very difficult. I don't know if rereads are technically allowed, but we're gonna just let it be. I'm currently in the process of rereading The Tainted Cup with my partner because I thought it was something he'd be interested in. He really likes Sherlock Holmes type stories, and that's what this is. In this, we're following a detective and the Watson of the Sherlock. He is kind of the eyes and the ears. He's got a photographic memory, but the world is so cool. The sequel just recently came out, and I listened to this audiobook last year when it came out, and it didn't work for me. I think partly because I was in a reading slump at that point, and I was listening to it at like my normal speed, but just was not paying any attention, and it just wasn't working. So I'm giving it a second chance. We're gonna see if it works better for me now, if listening to it at a slower pace and just taking my time with it will be for better or for worse, but we will see, because we don't have road trips planned, just like listening to audiobooks with my partner. So we will see. We've got some painting nights planned. We're gonna try and make progress, but this one has really cool, like, plant technology, if you will. Things like mushrooms that are also the air conditioning. It's just very cool, minor details, but I'm gonna go with it because this is as close as I'm gonna get to biotechnology that I care about. The next one, I am realizing I don't have a book picked out for. So the next prompt is Elves or Dwarves, and the hard mode is that the main character is an elf or a dwarf. And I probably left this blank because I read romantasy and there's a lot of fae books, and so I could probably find a book with an elf. I think I'm now remembering. The reason I left this blank was in hopes that somehow between now and before March 31st of 2026, we get the third book in the Oaths, the Crown of Oaths and Curses series by Jay Bree. Was the second book a gigantic letdown and still got 4 stars from me? Yes. Is it complicated? Do I want to talk about further? Not really. It's too much heartache. But I am still really eagerly looking out for the next book. I am hoping that we get it at some point. I do like the characters, so I am interested in a third book from this world, but I don't think Jay Bree has talked about it from what I can see, so I don't know what's going on with that. The other reason this can be open is the 4th book for the Bow Before the Elf Queen series should be coming out at some point. The release date has been pushed. The author, J.M. Curl, has been going through some mental health struggles and has been very open about pushing the release date and trying to get things edited on time, but also needing to take care of themselves, which I respect. If any of those books become an option, I will fill this slot with one of those, but until I have confirmed answers on that, I guess it'll just be blank and I can fill it in at a later time with another elf fae type book that fits. It is what it is. Okay, next we're gonna go on to the queer protagonist, and the hard mode is that they are also a marginalized because of being a person of color or having a disabled or because of religion, culture, minority, ethnicity differences. And for this, I've gone with The Spear Cuts Through Water by Simon Jimenez. I have heard only great things about this book, but it's also like elaborate. It seems like a time, it seems like maybe a lot, and if you're not in the headspace to pay attention, it might be like you might get lost along the journey, and I don't really want that for myself. I want to enjoy it. I don't at all remember what this is about, but I think there's like a story within a story. There's like some kind of like overlapping element or some sort of wacky thing that was going on that like people were really interested about the story and like hyping it up because of those reasons, and I no longer remember. So that's on me, but I am excited to get to this one finally. Now the hype has kind of died down a little bit unless people are talking about it, so we'll see how that goes for me. The next prompt, oh my gosh, 5 science fiction fantasy short stories, SFF. Hard mode is to read like an entire anthology or collection rather than just read 5 separate stories. This book is a callback to my 2022 Our Fantasy Bingo, because I did not even get close to completing that. Swashbuckling cats. What more can I say? Cats? Pirates? It sounds like my perfect story. And it sounds like somewhere I need to be. This is a bunch of, I guess, short stories set in the same world, following a bunch of pirate cats. I'm excited. I will let you know how this one goes, because I'm not sure yet, but I'm excited for this one, okay? Alright, moving on to the next and final prompt in this row, Strangers in a Strange Land. And the hard mode is that the main character is an immigrant or refugee. My sources have told me, through the recommendations of r/fantasy forum, that Martha Wells' All Systems Red first book in the Murderbot series counts for this prompt. So I'm gonna do it. It's a novella, it's more sci-fi, it is following a little murderbot who is learning about humanity. It seems a little bit more on the cozy sci-fi side, similar to Becky Chambers. I might really like this or I'll really hate it. It's so hard to know with cozy stuff right now, but I'm hoping that there's a little bit more substance and action to this, that it'll work for me. We'll see though. It's short, so I mean, there's really no loss if it doesn't go well. And now moving on to the 5th and final row. The first one is to recycle a bingo square. Oh, yes, it did start in 2015. 10 years. Ha ha ha. Okay. Recycle a bingo square. Basically, normally the rules are that if there's one prompt that you're not interested in, you could switch it out with something else. And usually you'll go back to previous years. Somebody in the Reddit forum had gone through and listed all of the prompts that have ever existed throughout the years. And I think I picked a prompt from 2022 because that was the year that I like failed badly. And I think I went with like queer found family. Yes, that's what it was. I wanted queered hard mode found family. And for this I went with Wolf Song by TJ Klune. I needed to read this last year for a video project that never came to light. That did not happen. And so I'm hoping now that I can, redeem myself privately and just read this book. I have all of my TJ Klune books up there, and I really liked one. I loved one. I love The House in Cerulean Sea. It was one of the first books that I read on my channel. It was a great time. I love the audiobook. The other books have not been hits for me, so I'm really hoping that Wolf Song will do it. This is one of the earlier published books by TJ Klune. I'm hoping that'll give me the vibes and essence that I've been missing from his work. We'll see, though. So the next one is Cozy. Cozy. It's up to interpretation, so whatever people feel is cozy for them, that works. I could have, if I really wanted to, change this to be like, cozy to me is just a comfortable space, but I'm not. I'm going with like the classic cozy, low stakes, found family, just very happy ending, soft stuff, which I don't typically like, but here we are. Hard mode, read a new to you author. I'm gonna read The Teller of Small Fortunes. This I have multiple copies of. It was given in a lot of book subscription boxes, so I feel like it makes sense that I try it. I at least give it a good college try and see if it works for me, and hopefully I'll enjoy it enough and I'll stick with it, and I'll be proud to have the books on my shelves, and if not, I can make space for them to go. So, it's fine. I'm prioritizing reading from my personal shelves, things that I own, so that is, forefront of my mind, reading down my shelves a little bit, not a crazy amount, but a little bit. One book at a time, it counts. So I don't know. I'm nervous about this pick, but at the end of the day, I should give it a try. So here we are. I've put this is my third cozy book on this list. Okay, so the next prompt is fun. It is generic title, and so they gave us a list of words. There is blood, bone, broken, court, dark, shadow, song, sword, or throne, plurals allowed. And the hard mode is if it contains multiple of those words, or if it contains a color or number or animal in the title. So for this, I went with 5 Broken Blades because I really need to read this desperately. I've been needing to read this for a while now. I think their third book is out by now. So I don't know how I done that, but my bestie Eliza really enjoyed this one, really wants me to read it. So I gotta do it. I own it. I have no excuse. I just gotta do it. I'm very excited. I believe this is romantasy. I remember that much. I think that there's assassins, and it's like kind of the outskirts of society people, and I think there is some type of competition or trial that goes on, which I love. So I'm excited about that. And I'm excited for this next prompt, which is not a book. Basically, you can start any new hobby or activity. You can watch a new show, you can watch a new movie, you can play a new video game, a new board game. I'm going to be playing a new tabletop RPG with my friends. Like, I have so many options. This is something that is very common and normal in my life. So here we are. Hard mode is to write a review to our fantasy. And I don't know, to be honest, if I'll do that. I don't know if participating in our fantasy, actively, I don't have a Reddit account. I don't think I want a Reddit account. I think at that point, when that happens, I will be brain rot corrupted, and I just don't think we're ready for that. We're not there yet. But I don't know exactly what I'm going to consider for this not a book prompt, but I'm excited to see it. I think it's fun. I think it's a nice little break. I think it's cute. And then the last and final one is pirates. Hard mode, not seafaring pirates. I love seafaring pirates. I could just go easy mode, just for the soul, just to make me happy. But no, I'm not. I've decided to go with maybe a potential space opera, but this is on my physical shelf. Oh, look at me finally holding up a book in this video. I did own a decent amount of these books. I could have just held them up. I don't know what it is about, set TBRs. I'm like, I'll just throw the picture on. But The Red Scholar's Wake by Aliette de Bodard. I don't remember at all what this is about, but obviously I have it on my shelves. This was an Illumicrate pick, and they are interstellar pirates, which excites me. If you know anything about me, I love Dropout TV, I love Dimension 20, that's a D&D, Dungeons and Dragons campaign series, and they have kind of a series like that, their Space Odyssey, and you know, if this gives semi vibes to that, I'll probably be okay. It's not too chunky, so I feel like it is doable. So yeah, this is the final book that is on my TBR. It's the only book you'll see me hold up today. But it'll feel good to read that and get it off my shelf, because I don't know if I'm gonna like it, but hey, you might as well try. And it's space pirates. Oh, I guess I could have gone with Gideon of the Ninth. Well, it's too late now. I've already made my decisions. We've already made the TBR. I will say, though, that this is my TBR initially. I do periodically change things throughout the year. If something's not going to work for me, or if I DNF something, I'll switch it out. If I get to, like, the end of the wire by March 25th, and I go, oh no, I haven't read all of these books, I will see if other things will fill in the slots instead better. So, you know, I'll give you guys an update around October at the halfway point to see where we're at and how I'm doing. Hopefully I do pretty well. Hopefully I've made some serious progress. Hopefully there's some releases that are announced. J.M. Curl. I would like to hear positive things about books coming out, maybe. So, well, I'll keep you guys updated though, and maybe we'll have a better chance of getting a vlog for our fantasy specifically. But a lot of these books I'm just reading because I'm excited for them, and I hope that this inspired you and gave you some recommendations that you might be interested in picking up for our fantasy. Do you participate? Is this something that you've done before? Are you new to this? I do recommend. It's a lot of fun. It's very low stakes. No one's policing you. You're totally fine to screw up and do whatever you want, and if you gotta make it a little easier for yourself, do it. No one's gonna stop you. You don't have to do hard mode like me either. But yeah, I really enjoy this. It's always fun. I've been doing it for, this will be my 4th year, which is crazy. So I highly recommend checking it out if you're interested. Of course, everything will be in the description for you guys if you're wanting more information or recommendations from other people. And with all of that said, if you made it to the end of this video, how about you leave a piratey cat emoji down in the comments of some sort. I don't really care. If it seems pirate enough to you and a little cat emoji, you win, and good job. So I will see you guys in my next video very soon. I hope that you guys had a lovely day. If you've read Verity and Mating with the Mantis by chance, come join us on Sunday the 27th to hang out and chit chat about those books with me, Aaliyah, and Richie on the Library Dwellers channel. It'll be fun. It'll be great. Okay, bye.